When we talk about investing, many people have expressed to me that the prospect of getting started is very daunting. So I wanted to share a lesson with you guys today to help you get started, hit the ground running, and build some confidence in what you need to do to get started with investing. For our agenda, we want to talk about basically 5 areas or 5 topics that will instill in you the confidence and point you in the right direction so you can start your investment account today. I'll talk about the importance of getting the proper guidance, also what you need to get started. We'll discuss places and websites that you can use to open an account. We definitely want to talk about things to avoid, and we also want to share with you some strategies you can implement to better your chances of having success. Now, one thing I want you to be mindful of is just jumping in gun ho, guns blazing, without any type of direction or guidance. I caution you against this because there's going to be some challenges that are going to come up, some frustrations, and some roadblocks. And if you enter into investing without the proper guidance, the proper preparation, the challenges could either uh, cause you to totally run away from investing, or it can cost you a lot of money and time in your investing process. So you definitely want to make sure you do some due diligence and get some guidance up front so you can make better decisions. Now, the impact of good guidance, as I stated, it's going to save you some time. Time is your friend when it comes to investing, and wasting time, again, costs you money. And also, you want to minimize your frustration. When you get good guidance, you know which direction to go in, and it's less frustrating figuring out what to do. Now, you'll have a clear understanding of what your investing strategy should be with the right guidance, and you will be equipped with the right tools and tips to avoid some of the pitfalls. There are, again, many reasons to get guidance, but the goal ultimately is getting you started on the right path. Mark Twain said, "The secret to getting ahead is getting started." So let's get started. What you will need to begin your investment journey is startup capital. You have to have something to invest in order to get an investing return. So let's talk about that. Now, in a previous lesson, I talked about saving $1,000 before you start investing. I'll reiterate that again here. So you want to start out by saving at least $1,000, and then every dollar above that, you can start thinking about placing those monies into your investment account or accounts. So you'll need startup capital. I said $1,000 or more here. It's also important to have access to information. Uh, Internet access. You need to be able to Google some things, look on YouTube, do some web searches to vet out uh, poor information and to get accurate information, to get advice. So, having access to the internet is vital here because you'll be using it to open up your accounts as well. Also, when you open up an account, you'll need to share your personal data. That's going to be your social security number, your address, bank account information, things of that nature, some basic stuff that's required in order to set up any type of financial account. Because, of course, when you start making money, there's going to be some tax implications. So, we're going to need your tax ID number and whatnot in order to get started there. Uh, Last but certainly not least, you'll need to have an idea in mind for why you're investing. What are your goals? What are your objectives? What strategy should best be implemented to help you achieve those goals? So, having those goals front of mind will prepare you to be successful in investing because you will invest the right way in the right type of assets. So, there are many different places you can open accounts. I listed just a few here that are more popular and uh, definitely user friendly. Um, there's trading platforms like TradeStation that allow you to even get into cryptocurrencies. Uh, Everything I've listed here offers free trades, and some are even linked to larger financial institutions like Merrill Edge and Bank of America. Thinkorswim, of course, is a part of TD Ameritrade's platform, E-Trade is a great platform. Many others, I know a lot of you who are starting out may use an app like Robinhood. That's pretty good as well. That'll also let you get into fractional shares. So if you want to own Tesla, instead of paying $600 or $700 for one share, you can get a fractional share. Maybe spend $100 to own 1/7 of a share of a company like Tesla. So again, any of these accounts are good for establishing your positions. So you can go online to, for instance, merrilledge.com, click start, enter your information, and you can set up an account maybe 5 to 10 minutes at most. Of course, when you're going through the process of getting started with something, I mentioned there can be roadblocks and things you would want to avoid. So some of the things I caution against are expensive products, bad advice, and taking on too much risk. So covering some of the more expensive products. Typically, you don't run into these unless you're working with an advisor. And what I can tell you about working with an advisor, the less money you have to start off with, the less likely it is that you'll be working with an advisor. Most advisors are commission-based salespeople. So they get paid based on how much money they move. So the smaller your account is, especially if you're just starting off, they're less incentivized to be there to help you, to be a guiding hand for you. So what you typically see with advisors is uh, them putting clients into somewhat expensive products, of course, because they have to make a living. So you'll see products like variable annuities and things of that nature are high priced, managed account portfolios as well. So you, just getting started, you want to avoid those big ticketed items that's going to cost you a lot from your return in fees. Uh, Also, and I can't emphasize this enough, you don't want to get over exuberant based on what the crowd is talking about. Early in 2021, GameStop, AMC, uh, more recently, Dogecoin. Not saying those are bad investments, but understand what's driving those investments. The hype surrounding some of these different investments really made the price you'd have to pay to get in more than what these actual companies or coins in this case were worth. So you'd be buying at a premium, and when it drops, you're left holding a bag. So you have to be very careful about not having a fear of missing out that causes you to get into a position after the price has been driven up by a lot of hype. And then you're stuck buying it at a higher price, it drops, and you're waiting and hoping that the price comes back up so you won't have to sell at a loss. So be very careful about following the hype. Uh, there's an old saying, buy the rumor and sell the news. So when something's hyped up, the news is out there. You may be getting in too late. So be very cautious, do your due diligence before following the crowd. Also, be conscious of the risks that are involved. I mentioned things like cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies have made people lots of money, but it's also lost people a fortune because they're very volatile. So be careful when you're just starting out about getting in something that's very speculative or super volatile. You want to ease your way up to those items before just starting off there because that can leave a sour taste in your mouth. And worse than that, you can lose a lot of money. And we don't want you losing a lot of money.